The term fresco refers to paint that has been applied to wet plaster. Once dried, a fresco indelibly preserves the paint that a painter has applied in this way. Unfortunately, additions known to have been made by later painters have obscured the original fresco work done by Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel. Therefore, in order to restore Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel paintings to the appearance that Michelangelo intended them to have, everything except the original fresco work must be stripped away. All right. That's what Zachary says. Now, Stephen says, but it was extremely common for painters of Michelangelo's era to add painted details to their own fresco work after the frescoes had dried. So, all right, so let's go back to the beginning. I mean, the first one, the conclusion is
Zachary's conclusion?
In order to restore Michelangelo's Sistine, his paintings to the original,
everything
they got to strip away. Yeah. Everything except everything except the original fresco work must be stripped away.
Yeah, and why is he saying that?
Because it's the way that the procedure, the way that it's done. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's because that's how, what am I trying to say? I have to learn how to explain this stuff better. He's saying that because that's the only way you're going to be able to restore it.
Yes, because there were additions that were made by later painters. Yeah. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So what does Stephen respond by saying?
But it was extremely common for painters of that era to add painted details to their own fresco work after the frescoes had dried.
So what does Stephen do to Zachary's argument?
He doesn't think they need to strip it away that far.
Are you sure he says that he doesn't think that they need to strip it away?
It was extremely common for painters.
What is the problem that Stephen brings up here?
He was it was extremely common for painters to add details to their own fresco work. It's almost like Zachary wants to make sure they get back to whatever Michelangelo did in the very beginning, nothing more, yes. Nothing less.
Excellent.
And Stephen is saying that this extra could have been done by Michelangelo.
Excellent. Yes. So he brings up this thing of like, hey, if you strip everything away, what problem might arise? You might take away something that Michelangelo did.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. That was great, Giovanna. All right. So go ahead and start with A.
Calling into question an assumption on which Zachary's conclusion depends. Calling into question assumption.
What could that assumption be?
He's assuming that, once again, as we just stated, that anything that was added was not added by Michelangelo.
Yes. And does Zachary's conclusion depend on that assumption being true?
Does it depend on it being true?
That nothing was like Michelangelo didn't do anything with fresco.
He doesn't agree with that.
But does Zachary's Zachary's assumption is that Michelangelo didn't do any of that stuff, right?
Zachary doesn't think he did.
Zachary's assumption, or does Zachary's conclusion depend upon his assumption that Michelangelo didn't do any of that stuff?
Yes.
Yes. So I like A.
Okay. That's why I said that's what I'm saying. A, we could. That's what I'm saying. We could.
Yep. All right. Let's try B.
Mm-hmm. Challenging the definition of a key term in Zachary's argument. He's not doing that.
We don't say that's the wrong definition.
Okay. C, drawing a conclusion other than the one that Zachary reaches.
Does Stephen even have a conclusion?
No, he just made a statement.
Yeah, he's just like weakening his argument. So we don't draw a conclusion.
Okay. D, denying the truth of one of the stated premises of Zachary's argument.
Do we ever say anything that he said is not true with certainty?
No.
Nope.
No.
We just
No.
call into question something. All right, what about E?
Demonstrating that Zachary's conclusion is not consistent with the premises he uses to support it. Demonstrates that Zachary's conclusion. Well, whether it's right or wrong, Zachary's conclusion, Zachary has given premises to back up his conclusions, though, right?
We don't show that. We don't like attack Zachary's premises and say your premises contradict your conclusion.
Right. So then, right. A.
Yep, A is our answer. Excellent. And this is a level 4 as well.